Hi, I'm Michelle Onifray with International Mountain Connection. Welcome to Mountain Madness. Today I'm going to talk about a subject that we already talked about, but I'm going to go in a little bit more detail. And that subject is pain. I was talking to a guide and he said he feels very comfortable going on hikes with his clients. However, if a client is injured or is in pain, he's worried that maybe he won't understand his client. So this video is dedicated to guides, first responders, mountain rescue professionals, anyone who is talking to someone about pain. Now, before we get started, remember, if you have difficulty understanding me, you can download the transcript or you can enable captions or subtitles. Okay, so let's get started. The first word we're going to talk about is hurt. And hurt is confusing because there are actually two different ways that we use this word. So the first way that we use the word hurt, let's say that I injured my elbow. I can also say that I hurt my elbow, or if I injured my wrist. I can also say that I hurt my wrist. So when we use hurt as the verb, that means that something is injured. For the second way that we use hurt, let's say that I have pain in my neck. So I can say that my neck hurts. If I have pain in my thumb, remember my skiing injury? Well, if I have pain in my thumb, I can say that my thumb hurts. So when I'm using hurt in this way, then I'm saying that I have pain. I have pain in my elbow hurts. And yes, it is possible to say that I hurt my wrist and now it really hurts. So you can see that we use this word two different ways with two different meanings, and yes, it can be confusing. Let's say you are with someone and you're trying to determine the severity of their injury. You're trying to determine what hurts. So maybe you're moving their arm and you ask a few questions. Maybe you ask, does this hurt? Or when I move your arm like this, does it hurt? Well, if the person responds with ouch or ow, that means that yes, that does hurt. In English, when we want to express our pain or say that we are in pain, these are the two most common words that we use, ouch and ow. Of course, there are other words that we can use, but they're not specific to pain. And when we talk about pain, it's important to talk about the type of pain because not all pain is the same. For example, if I have nerve pain, I might say that I feel a shooting pain. And a shooting pain is when you have pain that moves very quickly from one place to another. So when I pinched a nerve in my shoulder, I felt a shooting pain that started in my shoulder and went all the way to my fingertips. So that is an example of shooting pain. Another type of pain that you might feel is a sharp pain. And when you feel a sharp pain, that means it's in a very precise, specific location and it's intense. If you know someone whose appendix ruptured, then they might say that they felt a sharp pain in their abdomen. Another type of pain is throbbing pain. And this is a pain that comes and goes. And some people say it's like they feel their heart beating in the area where they feel the pain. It's just pulsing, and it doesn't feel like it's a constant pain. It just is going on and off. And maybe you have had a very, very bad headache and you felt throbbing pain in your head. Another way that we can talk about pain is to say that something aches or that we have a dull pain. And when we use these words, it means that the pain is in a general location. It's not in a specific point like the sharp pain. It could be in a general area. So, for example, if I sprained my wrist, then there might be some inflammation and some swelling. And so there's some dull pain in this entire area. There might be a sharp pain in the joint, but in the surrounding area, it could be a dull pain. I realize that talking about pain isn't very fun or exciting, but if you are a guide, a first responder, or a mountain rescue professional, it is a topic that's important to know. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. Thank you for joining me. And if you'd like to know when the next International Mountain Connection video comes out, all you have to do is click on the subscribe button and the bell. And remember, why trust International Mountain Connection with your English training? Because Brian isn't in the kitchen, he's in the mountains. I'll see you soon. Bye.